Hello and welcome to Mom's Work. I'm your host, Kristin Weinrich, mom of two and fourth grade teacher. Glad you're here today. Joining me is Rachel Gallegos, attorney, wife, school board member, and mom of two boys. Thanks so much for being here today, Rachel.
So glad to be talking with you today. Thank you for the opportunity.
Course. On this episode, we're going to be talking about something that many people highly anticipate. The air gets a little crispier, the leaves turn colors, and pumpkins are everywhere. That season is, you guessed it, fall. We are in fall right now, but only a couple days in. But by the time this episode airs, we'll be firmly a week and a half into fall. Can't wait to talk all things fall with you in a few minutes. But first, Rachel, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your work, your hobbies, anything you'd like to tell us.
Sure. Well, thank you again for having me. And hello to everybody listening. My name is Rachel. I live in Kristen's community here outside of Philadelphia. I am a mother to two boys, a seventh grader and a third grader, both in our public school system here in the district. I work full time as a legal aid lawyer in Philadelphia, focusing on probate issues and mortgage foreclosure issues. And then in my free time, I also coach two soccer teams.
All that free
I
time.
grew in all my free time, outside of school board and working full time. I coach. Soccer is my hobby. That's my passion. I grew up playing. I played in college, and so it's been a thrill to be able to coach both of my boys right
And
now.
your boys love it as much as you do, right? I mean,
Yes,
they're in on the
yes, they're
soccer. Okay.
yeah, they are equally obsessed. So it's a good time, and that's where our weekends are spent. My husband is Michael. He likes to give me a hard time for being so busy, but he runs the local lacrosse league, so I don't want to
So
hear
he
from
really
him.
has no room to talk.
No, and no, absolutely not. So we are quite the duo in the sports universe right now.
Yeah.
But it's been great. We're busy, but we love it.
And can you tell us a little? I know you talked about your paid work, just a little snapshot of what it's like to be on a school board and what that kind of how much time that takes.
Yeah.
That's
So
important.
school board, I love. I am in my second term, and they are 4 years each. So that from a time commitment standpoint, I'm looking at two Monday nights a month at call it a 3 hour clip. And then there's subcommittees that meet on a less regular basis. And then we're reviewing documents that come in ahead of the meeting to make sure we're prepared. That work has been really interesting. I don't come from academia, I don't come from education.
Mhm.
So it's been wonderful to have a seat at that table to learn what our district is doing, to help guide it big picture, which is our
Yeah.
role. We're very big picture. We're 30,000 feet up, and just trying to make sure, we keep the lights on, we have good staff in place, and clearing the way for teachers to be able to do what they need to do is really kind of generally how I see that role. But I really enjoy that work.
But that's great. And I mean, as a teacher and a parent in two different school districts, I know how important that is. And I also know that you probably, along with all of the positive, probably kind of get a lot of feedback, pushback, which I'm sure is, a challenging part of the job, but kind
Yeah.
of comes with the territory. But yowza.
Absolutely. So I joined the school board. I started my term January 2020.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
3 months later, we're shutting the schools. Remember, we were going to shut for 2 weeks. That was going to
Yeah,
solve
wasn't
it.
that funny?
In
That
two
was
weeks, we're
cute
going to
when we were
flatten
going
the
to do
curve.
that.
That was super cute. That
Yeah,
was
that was
great.
really cute.
Yeah, that went so well. And then our superintendent stepped down a few weeks after that. So that was
Oh,
my entree into the
oh
school
my
board. And
gosh.
those meetings, if anyone remembers, because this was not specific to us, this was around the country. Those meetings just became somehow just a breeding ground for all issues. It's
Oh, I'm
as though we as a
sure.
society were terrified and scared of this one thing, but then it just bred fear in every other aspect, and school board became the place to
Right,
voice
it's
all
like
of
you
that.
became the sounding board for like the
Yes.
whole world is gonna
Yeah, like the global
explode.
political climate came into the school board room in a way that was really unique. So
Yeah.
that was a lot. I
Wow.
didn't, we stand firm in our decisions. I was proud of the way we handled ourselves. I stand by every decision I made during that time as a school
Hmm.
board member, but it's intense.
Yeah.
That's where my lawyer background kicks in, which is
Right.
that is also intense.
Hmm.
People yelling at you is not unusual there.
Right.
So
So you're
it
used
just
to it. It's
I'm
fine.
used to
It's
it, except
great.
this time I had, 8 friends with me on the school board and we
Right.
were bring it together. So I felt a little more solidified there. But
Right.
yeah,
Safety in
it's
numbers. Go ahead and yell.
safety in numbers.
Yeah.
It has now settled down quite a bit in our
Right.
district, and we're trucking along very quietly and nicely, as I like to say.
Nice.
We still got plenty of things to solve, but we are not worried about, a global pandemic,
Yes,
which is
always
a
helpful.
really nice way to start a school year. Just in class, everybody in class.
No masks, no argument about that, all the
Yeah,
back and
not trying
forth.
to teach kindergartners how to read on Zoom.
Right.
So
Yeah,
all good things.
that was a dark time, I
It
will
was a
say.
very dark
Dark,
time.
dark time for everyone. Anyway, well, thank you for that. And thank you for giving us a little insight because, I know like school board, but I don't often get to talk to school board members. So it's interesting to hear. But I would say thank you to you for giving that time
Thank
because
you.
it's a lot of time. All right, I have a couple more questions for you just to kind of get to know you more as a parent and a career woman. You had I let my guests pick the questions. So you had picked the question of how has your career evolved since you've become a parent and what have you learned about yourself in the process, which I think is an important question.
Yeah, my career has evolved a lot. I've changed jobs. I shortly after my second was born, I switched jobs from a private practice and back into a legal aid setting, which was really wonderful. My career early on, a lot of time was spent with lawyer extracurricular activities. So I was
Okay.
very involved in bar associations. I was the president of a lawyer group called an Inn of Court.
Oh,
I was part of the bar association leadership team. I was on the board of a separate public interest agency. So my nights, I'd do the thing or you work all day and then I'd go to happy hours or whatever I needed to go
right.
to build that career and build that reputation in the legal community, which is very, very small in Philadelphia.
Okay.
When I became a parent, that had to be tapered back
Yeah.
significantly. I just didn't have the energy for it, and my
Right.
time had needed to be spent at home at
Yeah.
night a lot of the time.
Right.
And so I would say that's how it's evolved. So I've tapered back the lawyer extracurriculars. And then during the day, I'm just laser focused. I always say, if I'm going to be away from my family, it needs to be time well spent. So, number
Hmm.
one, time well spent being a legal aid lawyer, which means I serve low income Philadelphians at no cost. So,
Oh,
our
wow.
services are completely free. And so, we're providing housing, benefits, we're making sure people have access, right? So, this is incredibly fulfilling work. And so, I
Right. And
feel good.
important work.
Yeah, being away from the kids, I can manage that because when I come home, I'm talking about what I'm doing and hopefully setting that example of this is how we show up in the community.
Right. I love
But
that.
I try to just be really, really focused at work. And now that we're hybrid, I'm only in a couple of days a week, which I'm very grateful for. But
Oh, that's
then,
great.
yeah, I am like back to back client meetings. There is not a minute to waste. I am the classic eat my lunch at my desk if I eat.
Yeah.
Because I've got to like get in, get out, and now
Right.
get back to like some seventh grade middle school soccer game that starts at 4 o'clock.
Right. Of course.
Convenient for
Of course.
nobody. So,
And is it do you feel like the days that you're home, are you as laser focused or is that a little trickier? Like I think for
so
myself, I'd be like, let
yeah.
me just throw in a load of laundry. Like it'd be
Yeah.
harder
No, that's
to,
what I like about it is I'm able, then I punctuate my days with the laundry, with the this and the that. My husband also works from home. So
nice.
there are days when we're having lunch together. So that's what I like about the hybrid is now I'm not spending nights and weekends squeezing in grocery shopping,
Right.
laundry, all of that. We can
Right.
build it into our day with a little more ease. So I like that as well.
And all the
But yeah, so it's
commuting.
definitely been an evolution and it will continue to be. My kids are at a
Right.
point where they're very busy. We're around, my husband and I. As they get older, I wonder if I'll go back to more lawyer extracurriculars. I don't know.
Who
I don't know.
knows, right? Yet to be
Yeah,
seen. Well, what
yeah.
else could you fit in? Let's see. Soccer coach,
Yes, I
lawyer,
know.
lawyer clubs, school
Lawyer club,
board.
all of it. Maybe I need
So
more fun
we
hobbies.
can say you're kind of a professional good person. Huh? How about that? We'll say that.
Thank you.
Professional good
I'm
person. There
gladly
you
to hear
are.
that. That's such a compliment. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So this is a question I actually really like to talk to moms about. When you find that a parenting or a work commitment causes a scheduling conflict, how do you sort of deal with that? Like, how do you put one life or another life forefront, and how do you kind of work around that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband and I do a heat map on Sunday nights where we sit down. What do the kids have? What do we have? What's immovable?
Yeah.
Like, is your 3 o'clock on Thursday really firm or are we flexible there? Can you take that call in the car? Or what are we doing?
Okay.
So we start there to try to plan the week and make sure we've got coverage everywhere we need it. We have very generous friends that help us in a pinch if we need rides to and from places or if I'm running late.
Great.
But I would say the biggest thing I have going for me is my husband, which is to say that he is the primary parent in our house and
Okay.
he takes the heat and he gets the calls from the nurses. Sometimes they call me and we laugh every time because I never answer. I never answer.
Doesn't your stomach drop though when you see
I don't
that
even
number?
know
You're
who
like,
it is a
"Bleh."
lot of the time. Like it doesn't show up as GVSC. I should probably know the number, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. So I'm like, oh, weird. I wonder who that is.
I
I'll see
wonder
what
who's
the
calling
voicemail
me.
says. And then inevitably,
Everything's fine, but they have a
yeah,
103
Daniel's
fever.
fine. The second I see that, Daniel's
Yeah.
fine, Henry's fine, I forward it on to my husband and say, can you
Right.
call them, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's what makes it work in our household. And that's why I'm able to be like a million different places is
Okay.
because he picks up a lot. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of
Yeah.
that because it's a dynamic that works in our family and he really shows up in a major way.
That's great.
So that's how we do it. And then, like I said, friends in our village that
That
are willing to
village.
always like pinch hit for you,
Yeah.
feed a kid. I can take them longer. Don't worry about it. And we try to return the favors when we can also, but that's how you do it. Like it's not alone. It's
Mm-mm.
certainly not alone.
No, no. And I think you're right. Like your husband sounds a lot like my husband in that I can walk out the door and be like, all right, see ya, because I
Oh
leave
yeah.
for work. And where I think some dads or dads of the past or different generations would have no idea what to do, I'm like, all right, I gotta go. And I know that the lunches will get in the thing and he puts my kids on the bus every morning and that's just such and makes life so much easier. Like I don't have to write them notes and explain. I'm like, I
Oh,
I need
no,
to
no,
go
no.
out. I'll see you all in the morning. Love ya, and
Yeah.
they're in bed and they're happy and the books have been read, and so you and I sound like we're pretty fortunate in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You need
It's not
that.
that like
You need
he's
that.
babysitting. I'm like, no, he's
No, no, no,
parenting.
no.
He's the
No.
other half of the
Yeah, he's in
of the.
charge.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So,
Grown
um,
man. Let's hope so.
let me just ask you one more question because this was a good conversation. What would you say? How do you handle stress? Because I feel like maybe you have a lot with all of the things that you're doing
Yeah,
all the time.
listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine.
Everything's
Everything's
great.
fine. So cliche things. I work out. I work out 5 days a week.
Okay,
That started during I was a collegiate athlete. It fell off because, after that many years of a sport, you're a
right.
little tired. And I just couldn't find my thing. And then during the pandemic, I had talked a lot about Peloton. I love a spin
Okay,
class. I'd done some spin classes.
okay,
I like an intense workout. That's my vibe.
okay.
So we were like, okay, we're home. Let's do it. Like we're not like let's do the
Right. We
Peloton.
got
And
nothing but
I was
nothing to do
like,
but be home.
yeah, and I am evangelical about that thing. And I do
Wow.
all the stuff. And I
Okay.
now we have a tread and we have the weights. And so I'm building in my workouts there. That is an absolute must to manage my stress.
Yeah.
It just takes you down several notches.
Well, it works out
And then I
so
just
much of your energy. My gosh.
yeah, and then you can't put the energy into like spinning down an email spiral.
Right.
So I like that. And then I have a good therapist, like I believe in therapy
Yeah.
and not just when a crisis hits, but just as a maintenance, just as a third party observer to your life that can offer perspective that in the end isn't earth shattering. It's just basic, thoughts to consider that really help ground you shift the perspective at a time in moments when you're like feeling a little out of control. So I would say those things.
I love that. And I don't know about you, but I'm a person who will like think a thought, know something about myself, but not really process it. And sometimes I need, like, I always use the example of like my friend in college was like, why are you still wearing tapered jeans? And I was like, oh, like I knew that they were, you know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
sometimes you seem a little offended by this, or, whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, I had kind of thought that, but I almost need like that kick in the pants of somebody just saying something that I sort of already knew to be like, all right, I
Yeah.
got to get myself together, like
Yeah. We're
whatever it
going to give
is.
yourself grace. We had a really bad week a few years ago. It's just everything kind of flew out of control.
Hmm.
And we went to therapy and I was like, I think the answer is we need to hire like a live-in nanny or an au pair. I think that's the only solution here.
And there it
Like this
was.
week went off the rails. I didn't enjoy it. We're usually very like meticulously organized. And the therapist was like, maybe you just give yourself some grace because you had a hard week.
And
Maybe
you're
that
like,
maybe we don't need
oh,
to upend our
oh,
lives and hire somebody.
maybe that
I
too,
was
but
like,
okay.
okay, fine.
Right.
There.
We'll
I'll
see.
consider it.
It
So
didn't
with
work out the
that,
way I wanted it. But
yeah.
those are two great things. And it's funny because you said I love a spin class, and I would describe myself as loving to hate a spin class. I
Oh, isn't
took
it scary? Like when people ask about the Peloton, I'm like, you gotta like to spin. Do not buy that thing if you don't like to
no.
spin.
No, and I took a class one time. My sister and I, a long time ago, signed up for one, and she's like a half marathon runner and, this little tiny
Hmm.
thing who just loves to work out. And she was like, well, just come take this class with me. And I sat at the bike behind her, and like she didn't turn around the whole time. And at the end, I was like, are you kidding me? And she was like, yeah, this is why I didn't turn around to check on you the whole time. But then, like 10 minutes later, I was like, I feel like I could rule the world. So I kind of
Yeah.
see, I'm not currently spinning, but I do understand.
Yeah.
I kind of took a pause after that class was over. But
Fair.
it
That's
is.
fair.
I mean, it's a great workout. But holy
Oh,
moly.
100%.
Okay, let's move on to our win of the week. What's yours? What was your win this week?
I mean, it's only Tuesday. I don't know if we've done anything.
Well, going back to last Tuesday,
Yeah,
take the
here's
week as
the
a whole.
win. Yeah, so my husband's out of town. He left yesterday. He'll be back late tonight. And inevitably, it sneaks up on me every time, even though it's on the calendar and we talk about it. And lo and behold, the kids don't have school today,
Of
which I
course.
realized very last second. And this is one of my days in work. I have clients coming in that I just don't want to reschedule. It's
Yep.
not fair to them. So I was like, all right, kids, buckle up. We're going to work. We're going to work a half day. And it worked out. I had to take
Oh,
someone to the
great.
orthodontist. From there, we drove into the city. They had bags packed, ready to go. It worked out great. They were
Oh,
wonderful. My colleagues were wonderful about it.
great.
I got done what I needed to with clients
Okay.
very efficiently, and then made it back to have this conversation with you. So that I feel real smart
Wow.
right now
Ding,
that
ding, ding.
everybody,
That
yeah,
is a win.
everybody made it, and it was good.
And it's nice that they're at the age now where you can be like, hey, pack a bag. Like, you're
Yes.
not interrupting. We're not,
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
not
yeah. They
asking
are
for
at an
cookies
age,
and yeah,
yeah,
like
where
just,
they pack your own snacks. This is where you're gonna sit.
mhm,
Please be aware people are working around you, and they
right.
were
And
wonderful.
they could do
I
it.
feel so lucky. So that was
Take
a
those kids
victory.
out for ice cream. My
Yeah, I'm already
goodness.
thinking. I was like, they've earned it. We can do
They
something here.
got something. Well, funny, my win was kind of this morning too, although it's kind of like a lifetime ongoing win, but it's just that, like you said, there's no school today. So of course my kids are always like, what fun thing are we going to do
Oh,
today? I'm like,
sure.
like
Yeah.
I am not like the cruise director, but I was like, well, why don't we go walk around Phoenixville, which is a little town where we are, and they have lots of like coffee shops, and it's just kind of I was like, let's just go do that. So we did that. And on the way out, we drove past the Phoenixville Library. And my win is how fortunate we are in Chester County and in the country to have so many wonderful libraries. Like we usually
Yeah.
go to, the 4 or 5 closest to us, but in the last few years, I'm like, we could expand our horizons. My kids love to go to the library. They like to read, but I think they more like the getting of the books because I'm
Sure.
like, why is no one reading anything? But
Yeah.
just, I mean, and we've even like started when we were on vacation. Like, I'm like, let's just go to the local library. We saw a beautiful library in Concord, Massachusetts this
Oh, wow. Sure.
summer. And I feel like even though they're 8 and 6, like they always have toys. Today they were playing with a train table, which I was like, okay, the last time either of them played with a
Yeah.
train. But I just think it's such a nice, like on a rainy day or in the winter or even like at the end of the summer. I was like, hey, we haven't been to like this library in a while, or we've never been. And they think it's like such a cool thing to go to a new library. So I feel really fortunate where we live that there are so many great
Yeah.
libraries. And I'm a big reader, not so much during the school year because I fall asleep at
Sure.
bedtime real fast. But I
Sure.
just, I was just reminded of because we didn't have much time today, and Ollie was like, "Can we go back there?" Like, I love this. Like, I was
Oh,
like,
that's
"Yes,
great.
we can go back to the library." And so, yay for us here in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
that's
and in the
awesome.
country. And how about your challenge? What was your challenge?
Oh, what's been my challenge this week? I would say the meticulous organization that has to be when one parent is
Mm,
out of the house.
yes.
You realize how much you rely on that second voice, just like in your mind, it's a backup, it's a plan. And without my husband around, it's like, no, 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 it all falls on you.
Mhm,
I do have to answer the call from the nurse. I
mhm.
just send her to
Nobody gets
voicemail.
sick.
Yeah, I am responsible for all of it. I had to organize rides yesterday because I'm taking one kid one place and I didn't have my second driver.
Right.
So it's just all on you. And then we get home and it's all on me to feed them and just all on you, right? Like this is
Right.
not a new story. And it's a bit of a champagne problem to have when you consider what's happening. But
Right. But still.
that's been a challenge and you're just on alert. I also don't sleep as soundly because again, I'm not the primary parent even in the middle of the night. They wake him up.
Oh, that's
But when
really
it's
funny.
yeah, when it's just me, like I popped out of bed last night because I thought I heard something and was trying to
Uh-huh.
figure out what it was.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a big fan of sleeping in my house by myself either, but
yeah.
luckily I don't have to do it very often at all. But the oh, you just said something. Oh, and you just told me before we got on here that your fire alarm is your smoke detector is like
Yes.
beeping.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that problem right now, but
Right.
that will be a challenge. I'm hoping that we can just resolve that this evening when
Right.
my husband gets home. And
But
it's
if
a
you were
reminder,
home,
I
you'd
don't
be
even know how
like,
to do that.
smoke
Like,
detector's beeping and it's
yeah,
just taken care of. When now you're like,
yeah,
oh, I
exactly.
don't know.
And so we're
Yeah.
going to use it as a learning opportunity tonight where I'm going to actually learn how to fix the problem because
There
this is
you go.
absurd that I haven't just taken 5 minutes to figure this out.
Well, and if you know how to do it, then I feel like maybe that's insurance that it won't happen again.
Right? Yes. Like I can't just be the person saying, I'm going to wait for my husband to fix it. No, I
Right.
could
Got to
probably
know
handle
how to
this.
do it.
I could probably handle this.
Last year, my husband went to his nephew's wedding. It was in California, and they very, very nicely invited all of us. And I was like, I can't take the kids on a 6 hour airplane. I just can't. So I was like, but you go. We love this side of the family. I was like, go, enjoy it, have fun in the lavender field. Think of me, having dinner. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. And he went and he calls me and he's like, and I was taking the kids to swim lessons and he was like, I'm driving over the Golden Gate Bridge. And I go, and I go, the check engine light just came on. And you could hear him like, oh, he like visibly, like audibly inhaled. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yep.
okay. And I was like, so I'll just see what happens when we get to swim lessons. And a very long story short, the battery was dead. And, my sister came and picked us up and the AAA guy came and like the whole thing. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And I said, but in a way, like I lived alone for so long before I met him. And I'm like, it's actually good for me to remember, like, I can handle this. I just have
Yeah.
two people depending on me for their life. But, like I used to have to do all of this stuff by
Yeah.
myself. But
Exactly.
he was like, I almost didn't even tell you where I was, but then I thought I would. And then you said the check engine light came on. I was like, yeah, well, hope that view is beautiful. So,
Yeah. Enjoy it.
but he had a great time and everything worked out. But yeah, it's always like when they're not here. And really, he's always here. So it was like sort of funny that it worked out
Yeah.
that it worked out that way. Um, and my challenge this week is my first grader, Catherine, loves school, went to full-time kindergarten last year, loved it, the whole thing, but seems to be having a tough time like going from summer back to school this year. And I
Oh,
actually
interesting.
yeah, like or maybe it's just her personality, which makes me even more nervous. But I emailed her teacher a couple weeks ago and I was like, so she cried pretty much all night tonight. I think she's just tired and she holds it together all day at school.
Yeah.
And then she comes home and she just
Sure.
falls apart. But I'm like, why is she like she's crying and yelling and arguing? One day she just walked in and picked up like a drawing Ollie had done and just crumbled it up. And I looked at her and I was like, what was that? And she's like, I don't even care. And then she dissolves into tears. And I'm like, if I hear crying one more time, and actually in the last couple days, I feel like it's gotten better. So and even her teacher was like,
Good.
everything's fine here. And she was like, but you're right. It's probably just kind of like her letdown after
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, any little thing, like I can be like, can you pick your backpack up and hang it up on the hook? And
Yeah.
we're 15 minutes of like
Oh
yelling and
gosh.
screaming and then like we kind of let her go for a while and then she'll be like,
Yeah.
I am having big feelings. And then she comes and sits on my lap and has her big feelings and then she can pick herself back up. And I'm like, I'm so tired of tears. Like I'm so tired of listening to her cry. But I'm hoping in a couple more days or weeks. Like I mean, it's been 4 or 5 weeks of school, so I feel like we should be sort of back into
Yeah.
back into the routine. But oh my goodness, I'm like,
These
stop
transitions are really
yelling.
hard, and I think you're doing everything right. Communicate with that teacher,
Yeah,
trust your own instincts,
yeah,
check on everything else. Like I'm sure it's fine. Is she eating? Is there anything else
Right.
possibly happening? That's the best you can do is just start checking off boxes
Yeah. And then I'm
and
like,
being attentive. It's really hard. Those transitions are really hard. And the school days are long. They
they're
jam-pack
long.
those things.
Right.
So
And
much
they're
to talk to the
learning
school
and
board about that. Like,
yeah, I mean that it's a lot for them and she'll get there and she's fine, but I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. But the she she doesn't like I don't know why. She doesn't like to drink water. It's always a struggle, like a power struggle for us to get her to drink, her water bottle or whatever. So when she's like, I'm having big feelings and whatever, I usually go, oh, you probably didn't drink enough water today. And then she like is off and running again. She's like, that wasn't what it was. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
maybe that was it. Maybe if you drink some water, you'll feel better. She's not buying it.
yeah.
Anyway, so here's the moment we've all been waiting for, our topic talk, and we are going to be talking about fall. And I feel like for a lot of people, fall seems to come with the most amount of, like, even more than summer, like anticipation. Like, I feel like people are ready for it in late July, probably because it's so hot. But it feels to me like it gets a lot more kind of hype than other seasons, decorations and the recipes and the drinks and the cozy clothes. And I look forward to it. I do really like fall. Like, it might be my favorite season weather-wise, and I do like all the kind of cozy pumpkin kind of things. But today we're going to talk pretty much strictly about fall rather than Halloween, because in a couple weeks I'm going to do a Halloween episode.
Fair.
So
Okay.
we will just talk the season of autumn. Um, so let's start. Where do you fall on the fall scale? Love
I'm a
it,
big
hate it,
like I'm
don't
I'm the
care.
meme. Yeah, no, I'm the meme on Instagram you all see about the women, the suburban women that like fall. Like that's me. I love it. I grew up in California,
Oh.
so it was either desperately hot. I didn't grow up in like awesome California like Malibu. I grew up in the Central Valley. As I always say, it's a little more grapes of wrath, everybody,
A
than
little
like
bit.
Malibu.
Not
So
so, yeah.
yeah, it was scorching. It was in the hundreds regularly all
Oh my
summer.
gosh.
A
Oh,
dry heat,
dry
which I
heat.
maintain is better. I
Does it
maintain it's better.
actually? Is it actually? Because I
I think
always,
so, personally,
I
yeah.
feel like
I
120 is 120 no matter
Yeah.
no matter how
Then
you
you got to be
slice it.
inside. Or it was, it's funny now to say this to East Coasters, or it was cold, like 50s.
Oh, yeah. Probably had to get out the winter coat on those days,
Yeah,
right?
definitely did.
Bundle up.
So living out here now, I've lived out here since I've been in Pennsylvania since 2000. Love the fall. It's like what I was promised in all those pictures, being a
Right.
West Coast girl, it delivers. And I love every second of it. And I like it also because you can still be outside and with people and in community, right?
Yeah.
I think the winter gets hard for a lot of people, including our household, because
Yes.
it's dark.
Stuck.
It's just harder to be with people. The kids want to be outside, and it's like,
Right.
10 degrees a lot of the time. So
Right.
that's tricky, but that's why I also like fall because it's that you're right, it's that change. It's beautiful. You can't help but feel like how gorgeous it all is. The only thing I'm firmly against is pumpkin spice. I don't like pumpkin spice.
Oh, that was one
And
of my questions.
oh
Great.
yeah,
Okay,
like I
we'll
said
get
what I
there.
said, everybody come for me in the comments. It's fine. It's gross. It's disgusting. Stop it. Stop putting it in everything.
And wait, did you I like pumpkin
Oh my
spice
God,
Cheerios?
everywhere. Yes. I bought a box for my colleague at work, Alfonso, who loves pumpkin spice, and it's a running joke. And the most gross thing I can find pumpkin spice every season, I bring to him.
And he
And then
probably
he
loves
eats it.
it.
Then you pumpkin spice people will eat it.
Love
It's wild.
it.
So
All
yeah,
right,
that's
well,
not
we'll go into that a little bit more in a minute because I that's so funny because I have mixed feelings about the pumpkin spice. But what would you say symbolizes like fall for you?
I mean, the very obvious one is the leaves changing and then apple picking. I'm big into forced family fun.
Yes,
And so we do a separate apple picking adventure as opposed to pumpkin picking.
love it. Okay.
When we can, soccer season makes that difficult
Yeah.
sometimes. And the boys are getting older now. It's a joke. It's like, oh, moms, we're going apple picking or what. But that's when I know. And it's this year. It's like late September where I'm finally like, all right, we can start really getting into it a little bit. And the temps will cool off a little bit more, hopefully.
And the
So
yellow jackets. You got to do it when the yellow jackets have been like frozen over because I feel like that
yes,
can
that
ruin
was
it.
a real issue this year. I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate that until a couple of instances in recent weeks. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, get them out of here.
Um,
We need a frost, I think, to calm them
yeah,
down a little bit.
yeah. And then
Uh,
fall soccer season, like it
right,
starts in, it's trickier because that starts in August and it's still like sweltering. But
right.
there's going to be some lovely fall soccer days coming up in the next few weeks that I can't wait for. There's nothing better than a soccer field on a beautiful day.
And
It's
then
my
those
favorite place.
like those early morning ones when it is like
Yeah,
chilly
when
and
you
you're
need the
there with your
sweatshirt.
coffee and yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I don't love getting out of the house early, but once you're there, you're like, okay, this is like
This is,
fall. It's fall. It's great. And I would say it's funny that you were mentioning the pumpkin spice because this is kind of silly because it's usually like early or mid-September, but when Trader Joe's puts out their fall food, I'm like, here we are. It's time. Let's do it. And the funny thing is, they don't like I don't know for sure, but it seems like they have it and then once it's gone, it's gone. So we went a couple weeks ago and we got like pumpkin yogurt and they have this pumpkin brioche bread that's delicious and like French toast and they have this sauce. It's called autumnal harvest sauce. It's pasta sauce and it's kind of creamy and it's kind of like just a little bit different than spaghetti sauce. They have pumpkin ice cream that is to like die for. But then we went back this weekend because I was like, oh, I want to get more of that Honeycrisp apple yogurt that was delicious. And they're like, oh, we're out. You'll have to come next year. I was like, oh, next year. So I feel like, when you go and you see it, if you like it, you got to get it because
you
it's
guys,
it's it's going. And then so I'm like, okay, if Trader Joe's is ready, then I'm ready too. But that's kind of my signal for it. But I actually like today is kind of hot and humid. I'm like, no, no, no. Like I'm ready for the fall temperatures. Like if it's fall,
yeah,
it's
now I'm
fall.
annoyed. I'm like
Yeah.
80, might as well be 1,000. What are we doing?
Right. Like I'm kind of like I am sort of ready for like the long pants and the long sleeve shirts. I don't need snow or like 20 degrees, but like let's go down to like 75 and not go above. That's kind of where I am.
Nice. Yeah,
And lose the humidity. That would be great.
for sure.
I know you told me that your husband does most of the cooking and the shopping in your house, but do you have,
Um,
go ahead.
Oh no. I was gonna say, yeah. So it was funny you were talking about Trader Joe's because I know you had mentioned this to me before we hopped on, and I was laughing because I think I've been in a Trader Joe's maybe twice in my life, 2 or 3 times. My husband does do the majority of the grocery shopping, and then
That's
I
great.
love to cook. I like cooking a
Oh, you
lot.
do? Okay. I didn't know if he
Yeah, I
cooked
do.
too.
No, we
Okay.
share. Yeah, we share that. It's just kind of whoever feels like doing it.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, he'll come back and I'll see a variety of weirdo snacks.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, we went to Trader Joe's. Okay, that's what this is. So I was telling him, I was like, that you had asked about a favorite Trader Joe's snack, and I
Yeah.
didn't. I was like, I don't know. What do they have? And he immediately referenced some trail mix that he's like, and
Oh,
he off
I don't know the
immediately,
trail
yeah, I have a
mix. Okay.
Trader Joe's snacks or Trader Joe's snack, and I was dying
How
laughing, and I was like,
funny.
this is very on brand for you. So
Well,
yeah.
and I feel like you said weird snacks. I feel like you have to do your grocery shopping somewhere else and then you kind of like go to Trader Joe's for fun and see what kind of jumps out at you. Like you can't
Yeah.
like I know some people are like, "Oh, I shop there every week." I'm like, "No, it's more of a like let's walk down the aisles and see what novelty thing we need." And then we'll be like, "Why did we spend $86?" I'm like, "Well, their butternut squash mac and cheese is in season right now, so obviously we had to get like four of them." My husband's like, "Do we like that?" I'm like, I don't know, but we feel fallish, so we're gonna try. And
That's gonna be
but
good. I
yes,
do love everything butternut squash. I love a butternut squash soup. So
yes,
mac and cheese appeals to me. I am all for it. And I usually notice the Trader Joe's stuff coming out on a night when we're like doing picky dinner, which is like kind of what do we
yeah,
have?
snack
Michael and
dinner
I
we
are
call it.
starving. Yeah, snack
Yeah,
dinner. We're
yeah.
not starving. What can we do? And it's always some sort of, he's like, oh, look what I have out of the freezer. And I'm
Trader
like,
Joe's,
excellent. Let's give it a
right?
go.
I mean, and it's always like something that like kind of piques everybody's interest. So when they'd normally
Yeah.
be like, "This is gross, we don't want it," I'm like, "Well, it's from Trader Joe's," and they're like, "Oh, okay." That just makes it so
Try
much more
anything.
exciting,
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
So what are some of your favorite fall recipes? Do you kind of change what you cook once it starts to get a little cooler?
Yeah, definitely. I like a soup and a stew and a chili.
Mhm.
I make a decent chili, so that's on heavy rotation as it gets colder. I love a taco night and homemade beans that I grew up with. I'm Mexican. I grew up in a big Mexican family with lots of Mexican food.
Nice,
So that's my
delicious.
fall comfort. Yeah. A lot of the times. And I'm getting better now at like looking at recipes on Instagram, saving them and coming
Okay.
back to them.
Okay.
So that has actually been a success in recent weeks that
There
we've
you
been
go.
doing.
There's
Yeah,
another win.
yeah, it's another win. But definitely the soups. And my husband loves the soup
Yeah.
too. So I like when people like what I make. So
Yes.
anything that I'm gonna get like a good reaction for, I'm always happy to do again.
Nobody's going to fall on the floor dramatically and say how gross it
Yeah.
is, because
Yeah.
sometimes
Or
that
have tears,
happens at my
literally
house.
have tears like softly coming down while they eat dinner. And I'm like, oh man. Oh
Wow.
boy.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's the dramatic fall for me. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I
then
love
don't.
it.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Because you ate it like 4 weeks ago and loved it, but today it's, just the worst they can ever imagine. I agree with you on I do chili with like sweet potato in it that I like, and I like it because it
Good.
feeds us for two, or maybe I'll put some
Right?
links to recipes but I'm like, in the show notes, I'll put some links. But yeah, I'm like, well, good. If I make this, then we can have it 2 or 3
Hmm.
nights, and that eliminates one dinner that we have to cook during the week when everything's crazy. But
Yeah.
I like to kind of combine the pumpkin spice and not. I like real pumpkin, I guess I would call it. Like I love to bake, so I like to make like I like pumpkin if it's pumpkin bread or a pumpkin
Oh,
muffin
sure.
or like.
Okay.
But you're right, like the like the pumpkin spice Cheerios or like the pumpkin spice, even like the pumpkin spice drinks. I don't really like. I don't like the pumpkin coffee at Wawa. Like to me, if it's like fake, then I'm like no. But if we've made it with an actual pumpkin, I'm
Yeah,
in. So
that's fair.
all
That's
those
fair.
are like we'll go and get apples at this orchard out in Lancaster, and then we'll make apple sauce and apple crisp. And like to me,
Oh
I'm like
yeah.
fall. Like there it is. It's
Yeah, I love
fall.
a homemade applesauce. I used to do that a lot when they were really little,
Yes.
when I was making their food.
Yeah.
Food is my way. And I would love to know if other working moms do this. When I feel as though, and I'm projecting, that I have been working too much and I haven't been as present as I should, I bake something as
Okay.
like I'm still a domestic
Look, I'm
goddess.
so domestic and involved.
Yeah, and it is banana bread, and
Yes,
then lately it is banana chocolate chip muffins they're hard pressed for. And
fabulous.
so I'm like, I shall like clear up all my mom guilt about working a lot
Here is
with
a
this
muffin.
loaf of
Here is a
bread.
muffin. Well, but I feel like it is so homey and delicious. And I'm like, yeah, you can have that muffin for breakfast because I made it. It's not like from a box or you know what I mean? Like a
Absolutely. There's no
yeah.
frosting on it. It's fine.
Right, so
Yeah.
it's fine. I just made pumpkin apple muffins the other day that have like a streusel on them. I'm like, it's fine. It has real apple and pumpkin in it. So forget all the
It's
sugar
great.
and the streusel. Go ahead and have it for
It's
breakfast. No problem.
fine. Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Totally.
Great. Um, and would you say, do you have, I thought this was a funny question. Do you have a fall like mom or just uniform that you wear when it starts to get colder?
Um, ends up being my soccer clothes on the weekends
Okay.
because if we're going to activities, I'm coaching and then we're going to the activity. I don't have the luxury of like trying to change.
Right.
I try for the pumpkin patch to wear the mom uniform with the leggings
Yes.
and the boots, right?
Yes.
Again, real basic over here.
I
Like
mean,
I would love to tell you that that is not me and
no
like turn up
PSL
my
though,
note.
so you're
No,
good. No
yeah,
PSL.
but listen, I'm in it. I have a vest. I have a
I wrote
vest.
down vest. I love a vest from
I have
Costco.
a
My like
vest. I have
$15 vest
flannel.
from Costco.
Yeah.
Hello. I have it
So
in two colors.
there you go. So yeah, comfort, but I'm comfort. I'm athleisure all the way. When athleisure, a lot of those brands have started making work clothes.
Yeah.
I've changed, like makes a work trouser that is divine.
Oh,
And so anything that I can, pandemic really turned me off of work clothes
yeah. I feel
because I
like it
didn't have
kind of
to wear
happened
them
to
for
the
so
whole
long.
world. Like we're
Yeah,
all
so
dressing
I've
for
really
comfort now.
like and yeah, I just really believe in that. I don't wear a heel anymore. I'm in sneakers a lot or flats.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
that's
mean,
on trend. That's what everybody's wearing
yeah, that's
sneakers
what
with
we're
their
gonna go with.
dresses. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trendy. And it's brutal though when I have to go to court, which isn't that often because I do in a suit and I do
It
need to
does
be in a
happen.
heel. And it kills me. And I joke, I chose the wrong profession. Like why I hate wearing the clown suit. And here I
Right.
am,
That there you
having to
are.
be a grown up in my suit.
Pinstripes and everything, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
one time after COVID, like a year or two after COVID, I walked into a store, which was kind of a shock anyway to like be in public in a store, but there were these beautiful, beautiful clothes. I guess it was around Christmas time, so it was like kind of New Year's Eve holiday stuff, and they were like sequins and sparkly and whatever. And I remember